Just give me a reason to keep my heart beating. Don't worry, it's safe right here in my arms. As the world falls apart around us, all we can do is hold on, hold on.
What is up, guys? This is DT Ninja here to bring you my Naruto Gaiden Chapter 5. Yes, guys, discussion, review, and discussion. Okay, guys, sorry for the delay. I know it's a day or so late, but I got some great questions to discuss, and also my review that I wrote out, and I did some color scans as well. So those were at the intro. So I hope you guys enjoyed those. But let's get right into. Because last week was really awesome. I mean, everything from the reveal of Shin's father, the idea of Sakura coming to the battlefield now, and then, at the very end, we have Sarada and Naruto being attacked by Shin's father, and Sasuke shows up out of nowhere, and we have this Sharingan versus Sharingan. Yo, this is just so freaking epic. Really awesome stuff. I mean, I cannot wait to see what happens in, the next chapter. But let's get right into it. My review is called Mirai. Mirai means future. And actually it has another meaning, which means the world to come. So basically what I did is use the original Japanese, the original title in Japanese. Alright, so I call it Mirai. Sarada looks on in shock. Father, why don't you even talk? Sasuke strikes quick with his sword, not uttering a single word. Oh, Sarada, could it be? And here I thought you were the enemy. Suddenly, Naruto opens the door. What did you bring the kids here for? Well, they followed close behind. And to meet up with you, I didn't have much time. Jeez, that child of mine. What is she thinking this time? Well, I think she's worried about her past. I see. So they will meet up at the mountain pass. But Dad, why? How can this be okay to just sit there and lie? This woman in this picture, she wears glasses like me. Just who the hell is she? Is she my real mom? You've been gone for so long. It doesn't even concern you. Forget it, as she rushes off in tears. That hope for a wonderful reunion suddenly disappears. Naruto goes to her as that pain he knows. Thinking back all those years ago. Listen carefully. I've learned of an oncoming threat. It's possible this is worse than that Kaguya we met. It all has to do with those white clones we called Zetsu, that are called Zetsu. I looked further into it, and I found that they were the key. And their presence allowed Kaguya to be set free. But wait, how can that be? I thought they were created from the infinite Tsukuyomi. Yes, but all the clones came from a single source. And I think this new enemy will prove to be a very powerful force. So I think it's best if I set out on my own. I'll track the threat down. I'm the only one. But I should come with you for backup. No, Naruto. It's best that you stay. Protect the village. After all, you're the Hokage. Everyone remember what was said here and why. This is for our future, Mirai. The seventh is shown trying to make Sarada feel better. Sarada, your father is a ninja greater than any other. Mom! Sarada, please hold on. This world has always been one of survival. The time has now come for the Akatsuki's revival. A cape that has finally been cast aside. What's left of a man covered in Sharingan eyes. The preparations have begun. Are you ready, my son? Yes. How fitting for an Uchiha. A fight to the death. A vortex opens and transports the two of them. The leader and his son Shin. Very quick they both act, falling so fast. Ready to attack. Targeting knives with those eyes. But Naruto knows they're coming. It's no surprise. Sarada, I'll protect you with my life, okay? Because I'm the Hokage. Out of nowhere, he seems to arrive. What's with all those eyes? What's with all those eyes? Okay, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed that. That is my Naruto Chapter 5 review, my written review, as I always do. I hope you guys enjoyed. So yeah, it's actually quite long, you know, with a lot of dialogue. We heard the Raikage, we heard Naruto, Sasuke, Sakura. I mean, there's a lot of characters that I did there, so I hope you guys enjoyed. I have a written out discussion here because I always like to write down what I'm talking about so it can remind myself, and also, you know, I have a good memory, but I sometimes forget things. So alright, so things I noticed about the chapter. This is part 2, like always. Things I noticed. Okay, first one. Distant memories. Okay, distant memories refers to Sarada asking, you know, her father, you know, why aren't you here? How can you be okay with not being there? So distant memories refers to that memory of her and her father when, you know, she knew him. You know, like she doesn't even know him really. But it also refers to Sakura trying to convince, you know, Sasuke coming back to the village. Stay with me in the village. You won't regret it. I'll make you happy. You know, I'll do whatever I have to do. I'll kill for you. I'll do whatever it takes to make you happy. Now, this is very interesting because not only is Kishimoto really pushing it, but the actual words that he uses, okay? So when Sarada asks him, you know, who's this woman in this picture? Who the hell is she? Sasuke responds by saying, it's none of your concern. Basically, you have nothing to do with this woman. So why should I tell you? You know? It's actually confirming that she has nothing to do with her. Not only that, but it's actually the exact same words that he tells Sakura. Remember when Sakura just going on and on, remember this day, remember this, and Sasuke's like, I don't remember that, and actually I just watched it recently. So I watched, the Sasuke retrieval arc, the beginning at least, and I noticed that he said the exact words to Sakura. He said the exact words to Sakura in the anime, and I looked it up in the manga. It's very similar, so it's very interesting. And when she says, if you stay with me, I'll do whatever it takes. And, he's like, just as I figured, it's none of your concern. I'm not like you or Naruto. I'm different. So this is very interesting that he used the same words. Those distant memories is what I call it. Okay, next one, serious problem. Okay, we're obviously talking about the comedic. Yes, guys, Chocho. Okay, honestly, at the beginning, like I said, I really thought she was, supporting her friend, but now I'm thinking Mitsuki was right on. She has a serious problem, and not only just a serious problem, I mean, anyone with a cute face or, handsome guy, she's going to think it's her father, because for some reason she doesn't know that her own father, is a great shinobi, or he doesn't think they are. He doesn't think he is. What she should really do is, find out, something from Shikamaru, because Shikamaru is the one that knows Choji's true power, and also, when we saw him in the Sasuke retrieval arc, man, he was a beast when he took on Jirobo. Yo, that is what, his daughter should see, that image of her father as a kid, that epic, that was freaking epic, right? So it just makes me wonder, like, should she know anything about her father? Like, I don't know. She has a serious problem. She needs a psychiatrist, probably, a special one. Okay? Alright, let's go to the next one, ominous threat. Okay, ominous threat refers to the backstory, not the backstory, but the actual flashback of Naruto, Sasuke, and Sakura after the war. After the last, we see they're there with the 5 Kage at the 5 Kage Summit, which is interesting, guys, because in chapter 700, the 5 Kage Summit is also in Konoha. So this makes me wonder. See, in chapter 700, Kakashi is talking to Guy, in the wheelchair, and he says, I stepped down from being Hokage. Now, this makes me, this was years ago, because obviously Naruto's Hokage at this time. Source is the next one, the source. Now, the source refers to the actual person that is based off of all the clones in the war. Now, the source is dangerous. That's what Sasuke says. The source of where it comes from, the actual person that created the Zetsus, or, even has part of their powers, is this, really ominous person. So, who is it? Who is it? Is it Shin? Is it Shin? Or is it Shin's father? Or is it even someone else? Because, guys, who looks more like Zetsu than anything? Okay, Shin doesn't really look like Zetsu, right? He doesn't really look like Zetsu, but after seeing some of the clones of him, you have to wonder, right? And also, you guys notice the creatures have a face as well. Like the Jubi-like creatures also have a face. And it's very interesting because the face looks really old and decrepit, almost like a very old person. So it makes me wonder about that too. So it's gotta be one of those 3 things. Or could it be something even, down the road for the Boruto movie? We could be talking about down the road, because this was almost, obviously if Sakura is pregnant, if, Naruto hasn't even, this is this is where, you know, Boruto and Himawari are just born or going to be born. So this is down the road. This is before that even happened. I don't even think they're born yet. So this is very interesting, guys. So it could be something else we're not even aware of. But I think he's left us clues. So that's something to think about. Okay, the revival. The next one is the revival. The revival of what? The revival of what? He says the Akatsuki. Okay, now he doesn't mean the revival of the actual, you know, actual group of the Akatsuki, like the actual members of the Akatsuki. I think he means the actual organization. So the organization is coming back. But you guys noticed that almost all of them are Uchiha, you know, and it makes me wonder because a lot of them look like Shin. So we have this idea of cloning of Shin. And then this idea that these creatures, guys, because each of these creatures are with one of those Shin clones. So the creature is not just one. There's several. And that makes me wonder if that is if that is the source, you know, or because it almost seems like they're connected that way. Why would each of them need a Jubi creature if, you know, there has to be something behind that? So that's something to think about. But the revival of the Akatsuki, it's very interesting. I like the whole idea. I like the idea of, you know, revival. I just like it, especially, especially after the Dragon Ball movie, you know, the revival of Frieza, you know, one of the greatest villains. Really, really interesting idea. I know it's kind of, you know, they're stretching out there, but I mean, even the revival of the Akatsuki is interesting, you know, because the Akatsuki was a great, you know, really interesting organization. So it's interesting how he's interpreting it as a different way, you know. So the next one, father. Father refers to Shin's father. Okay, so Shin's father is finally revealed as, you know, this guy. He's bald, as I said before. You know, he's bald, and not only that, he's got freaking eyes coming out of his head. Okay, he's got eye, and the first thing you notice is the arm. When he pulls off the robe, we see these eyes, the Sharingan eyes, and the first thing I'm thinking is Danzo Shimura. But I don't think it's Danzo, and it might be possible that it's a combined thing. Like, you know, he's copying off of Danzo's, experiment, because that was an experiment, right? It was an experiment, so it makes sense that they would try to copy off of it. But Kishimoto is making us, interesting. You know, oh, Danzo, it's possibly Danzo. He wants Sasuke dead because of Itachi. Oh, it's Shisui. Now, guys, I don't think it's either of them. I think, you know, he's playing with us for right now to make us interested, to keep the mystery going. I think it's someone else entirely. I really hope so, because I like Shisui and I hate Danzo. So both ways are kind of, if either of them are that way, I will be angry. Because Shisui is a great shinobi. I don't want him, to ruin his good name. So, alright, the next part refers to break apart. Okay, so break apart refers to the actual power of Shin's father and, the Mangekyo that allows him to break apart part of the weapons he holds. Like the metal, he actually has these knives, or, it looks like he has these knives, but he breaks them all apart, and they're just, the pointed parts, so it's separated. Like having a kunai knife, but he separates the head, so it's actually sharper on that side. So it's just the sharp points only. And they're all pointed towards Naruto, right? They're all pointed towards Naruto. And we even see, this blade. Like, it's almost like having a sword, but without the hilt. He's actually cutting out the hilt, and he's just, the point is pointing. So he's manipulating the actual weapon. That was very interesting. But Naruto sees it coming, right? Naruto sees it coming. So the last one refers to face to face. Okay, face to face. Obviously, Sasuke shows up, and we have this Sharingan versus Sharingan. So, the first thing I notice is the smirk on Shin's father's face. Yo, he looks very determined. He looks very confident. It's almost as if he might know Sasuke. This is very interesting if he does. But yeah, that's the things I noticed for this chapter. There's a lot of stuff I noticed. So I hope you guys enjoyed those. Okay, let's get right into the discussion questions because I have a lot. Okay, why doesn't Sasuke want to tell Sarada about Karin or the woman in the picture? Okay, one, I think it's because it would reveal his past. Okay, revealing the past, is tricky, right? It's tricky because let's just say Itachi, okay? He's an Anbu, right? He never can tell Sasuke the truth, so obviously he's not going to reveal the past to Sasuke. I saw many wars, I saw many people killed. He wouldn't do that, right? It's the same thing here. It would reveal a lot of things. It would reveal, Itachi has been through a lot. It would reveal he has to lie, deceive people all the time. It would reveal he has to assassinate people. I mean, this would reveal a lot of things that a little kid would not want to know. Okay, about his about his bigger brother, and he admired his brother. So there's no way he's gonna tell him that. So that's how I feel when I hear this, and also, he doesn't want him to know. He doesn't want her to know that he's a criminal. He was a criminal. That she was a criminal. That he was part of a criminal. He was a rogue ninja. He was wanted. By the entire ninja world. I mean, Raikage wanted his head. That's how wanted he was. I mean, when he stormed into the 5 Kage summit, I mean, he basically took on the Kages, without thinking. He was just, angry at everyone. Everyone is ignorant and doesn't know anything about Itachi, which is true. But the thing is, he was a criminal. And even when Sasuke came to help, everyone in Konoha, in the Konoha, 11 still did not trust him. Only Naruto and, Sakura a little by little, she still trusted him, but Naruto's the one that really understood him. So, yeah, that's something to think about, guys. So, he's not going to tell her because he doesn't want her to know, I was a criminal, I want to tell her, I was a hero, but I guess Naruto's the one that has to do the telling, the storytelling. He's the storyteller. Sasuke, I don't see him as a storyteller at all. In fact, he's the quiet one. He's always, it doesn't concern you, it's none of your business, I'll tell you later. It's almost like, I don't see Sasuke ever, sitting down and, telling her the story. But if he wants to change, better for the better, like Itachi said, I have no regrets. I wish I would have told you everything from the beginning, but as long, I'll always love you, forever. And Itachi really showed that Sasuke, should tell the truth. So, I think he should tell Sarada the truth eventually, Maybe it's not the right time right now. That's what Sasuke is saying. Maybe he's not even ready to tell her. So that's my thinking, guys, on this. Alright, let's move on to the next question. What is the ominous threat that Sasuke reveals could even be greater than Kaguya? Is it really Shin's father? Is it something else? What do you guys think? I'm going to tell you what I think. I think it might be Shin's father, but really, Shin's father's main source of power comes from that Jubi creature. So I think maybe the source is actually the creature. And why do I think that? Well, a lot of reasons. There's a face on it, for one. It looks decrepit. It looks like an old person. What if the actual person that is marked on the face of the creature is the actual source? What if he's an old ninja, an old old ninja, ancient times ninja. I mean, like, we're talking about Kaguya's time. And this would be very interesting because that would, take it back to, the beginning of everything. So that's something to think about. That's where I'm heading right now. That's where I'm thinking. Is on that creature, so that would be very interesting. Okay, let's go on to the next question. What is the creature next to Shin and his father? We kind of just talked about it, right? Why does it have something that looks like a human face? We should keep this in mind, especially after what Sasuke revealed. Okay, so I kind of did a 2-question thing there, so I kind of covered this already. Basically, but one thing you should keep in mind is this creature not only has a face that I already explained about, but it is next to Shin and his father. So let's say this creature is connected to Shin and his father. Okay, this creature. And then there's another creature. So it seems like each of the creatures are connected to Shin and his father. But when you look at the clones down, kneeling down at the bottom of, the cliff, they're on a cliff, and down below they have the Shin clones. Each of them have their own Jubi creature. Each of them have a creature. And this is something very interesting, because if it is the source, it would explain why they have them. Okay, it would explain why they have them, it would explain why they're all connected, and yeah, so that is really interesting what Kishimoto is doing. I really never liked Zetsu as a character, but I like how he's being a little more creative here. It almost has a real person's face rather than this white, face that looks like, nothing. The Zetsu kind of, I don't know, the tree, the whole thing, when it dies, it becomes a tree. We all know it comes from the tree, but the whole point is it actually could have significance to the past, and that's very interesting to me. Okay, let's move on to the next one. Who is Shin's father now that he's revealed himself at last? Okay, so based on his appearance, he looks very old, but who could he be? Could he be a combination of Shinobi, like I explained before? Danzo's arm, he copied whatever. Or could it be Danzo himself? I don't think it's Danzo, and I don't think it's Shisui. But could it be a combination of the two? Okay, let's say someone has, did an experiment on, the Shinobi or whatever, and is creating something even greater, Sasuke's greatest, rivals or enemies. I'm not saying Shisui is an enemy of Sasuke, but someone is obviously knowledgeable about Sasuke. Hint, hint, Orochimaru, maybe. But anyways, obviously, we saw, what looked like Danzo's arms, and I'll show you right here, guys. It looks very similar, almost exact. So take a look. Alright guys, so you saw it, almost exact, almost identical, so that is something to think about, but I don't think the entire person is Danzo. I just don't see it. Although he does have, Sharingan in his head. That's something that's really bizarre, almost like Frankenstein. But yeah, anyways, that's something to think about. And the idea that he knows Sasuke pretty well enough, to know about his past, to know about Itachi and Itachi's past. I mean, it's really getting interesting because, Orochimaru knows those people, so maybe it's something to do with Orochimaru, and I'm not, even considering in that until this point. So maybe he's in I always thought, he gave up, but maybe he didn't give up. He's a snake, he did bite Yamato, at the end of the war, so I guess he might still be, doing something. Even though Naruto seems to trust him, maybe he's pulling the strings, maybe. So there's a lot of things going on. Okay, So, what do you guys think about the leader's main eye? Okay, so the main eye is the one that's darkened. Okay, it's darkened with the Sharingan, the Mangekyo Sharingan. When you see it, it's darkened. Okay, now the first thing I noticed was it almost looks like an Edo Tensei, because I saw Itachi's Edo Tensei from the manga and it looks identical. However, if it's an Edo Tensei, why isn't the other eye darkened? Why wouldn't there be two? Does that mean he only has one eye? Or does that mean this isn't an Edo Tensei? Or maybe the body's an Edo Tensei and this is just, some crazy experiment? There's a lot of possibilities here. Now, I want to give a shout out to my friend Jacob again, because we had this awesome discussion last week on this chapter and we came up with a lot of things. So for Shin's father, we came up with quite a few things, like even the father of the sage. Okay, the sage's father, Hagoromo's father. We never did meet him, right? Although I'm pretty sure that he would be also not from this world, right? But it would be interesting if those creatures are from Kaguya's world. Okay, you hear what I'm saying here? Because if they are, that would make sense why Sasuke, has this ominous, thinks that there's this ominous presence on, in the ninja world now and could be a threat later. So that's very interesting. We also came up with maybe Endora's ancestor. Maybe even the first Uchiha. Okay, obviously Endora was the, one of the first Uchiha, but maybe it was one of his ancestors. So that was another one we came up with for Shin's father. Before we move on to the final question. Actually, we did move on to the final question. But anyway, I wanted to shout out to my friend Jacob, because we came up with these. Okay, so we came up with this theory that Shin's father's eye, okay, is not an Edo Tensei. It's actually a sealed eye. And the reason why it's sealed is because it's marked. These marks under his eyes, they're actually almost like, I don't know how to explain it. Not a staple, but you guys remember the chakra rods, okay? That's how I see it. The chakra rods that controlled someone, and that obviously refers to the Rinnegan, but it's not a chakra rod. It's like this thing that is like embedded into his eye to make his eye open up, it looks like, right? It's the marks that are, there's 8 of them. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, that's why his eye looks really messed up, right? But what if those marks are actually 8 markers that mark each of the actual parts of their Akatsuki? So in other words, Shin and his father are 2 of them, okay? And the other 6 clones down there are 8. Make 8. So there are 6 clones, Shin and his father, that makes 8. So say one of the clones dies, he can release, because he's controlling them, okay? So you see what I'm saying? So like he's controlling them all. So if one of them dies, okay, say the clone dies or is destroyed or whatever, he can release that clone and maybe his eye will become even stronger. Okay, he gains that power back. Okay, kind of like Naruto at the beginning of the series. He had 1 tail of the Kurama, but as we saw in Shippuden, he started to get 4 tails, and eventually 6 tails, and then in the Pain arc he went all the way to 9 tails, and we all know what happened then. He had amazing, immense power, and this is what I'm thinking. Maybe it's a seal that's locked, kind of like the seal on Naruto's chest. Okay, how there's almost like, I don't even know how many there are. There might be 8 or 9 seals on his chest. But anyway, what if these parts from his eye actually control the creatures? Not only the creatures, but the clones that are with the creatures. So maybe when they all are destroyed, Shin's father's eye will, awaken, a new Sharingan, an even greater power, you know? So what I'm saying is that's like a locked power, and eventually it is going to be unsealed once everything, you know, say all those clones are released, if he wants to, and he can release the eye power if at any time. So that's just something we came up with. I like that better than it being an Edo Tensei, but it might be an Edo Tensei. It could be. But the thing is, why isn't his other eye black as well? Did he like gouge his own eye out so it looks like he's got another, you know, a real eye rather than an Edo Tensei eye? I don't know. I like this idea we came up with that it could be a sealed eye, okay? Kind of like Naruto's, you know, seal of the Kyuubi. Even, you know, the curse mark of Sasuke, you know, once it was, you know, eventually it grows in power. So very interesting things to think about. Final question. Do you guys think Shin's father knows Sasuke, or is he just, you know, fond of Itachi and or knows memories of Itachi? Because he smiles and he's really confident, I think he might know Sasuke or has memories of Sasuke or Itachi, which is why, you know, he feels this way towards Sasuke. But honestly, I don't really know. It's very interesting. I think I'm going to leave it up in the air for now. But I hope you guys enjoyed my discussion. Let's get into the last part, which is predictions. Predictions. Okay, the prediction for next chapter. Okay, so we have this battle now between Shin's father, Shin, and Sasuke and Naruto. I think Shin and, you know, Sasuke are going to, you know, duel it out. Naruto's off on the side. We have Sakura running towards the battlefield. So maybe even, you know, maybe Sakura's gonna arrive and see Sarada, and we're gonna get this battle between Sasuke and Shin's father. And now, is this going to be another quick battle? Is it going to be like that? Does he even know he has the Rinnegan? That's something to think about. Does he know Sasuke has the Rinnegan? Because if he doesn't know that, you know, Sasuke could definitely, you know, easily take this match. But I'm not really sure at this point. But it should be a very interesting, you know, thing. I don't even know if all the Sharingan, you know, actually activate and all have powers, or if they're just, you know, there for looks, you know. Why would you put eyes in your head unless they have some power? So there's got to be something going on with that there. And I mean, there's so many there. That means there's different powers for each one. So this is very, very interesting, guys. Yeah, so my prediction is, yeah, I think Sasuke and Shin's father's gonna fight. Maybe, you know, Naruto will meet up, you know, see Sakura, or even sense Sakura coming. So he'll go off and, you know, he'll see that Sasuke is fine. Or maybe they'll stay on the battlefield and Sakura will, you know, arrive there. So now we have this dynamic of mother and daughter. So that's something to think about. And maybe we'll go back home. Okay, maybe we'll go back home to Konoha. You know, just, I don't know. I thought it'd be interesting if we started out, you know, on the fight, you know, fighting on the battlefield, and then Naruto's there and he's protecting Sarada, and, you know, Sarada's, you know, like, wow, this is my father? Man, he's strong, you know? And, like, Naruto has this flashback of, you know, fighting in the war, or even fighting him as a kid, you know? And then he's like, yeah, he is really strong. I always wanted to be like him. You know, he's my greatest rival. We were always fighting against each other, you know, trying to best each other. So she's learning a little bit about her father from Naruto. And then we see Naruto thinking about, you know, maybe Himawari or Hinata back at home. and we see them at their house. That would be really cool. I want to see, their household. We really haven't seen that yet. We've seen them at the gravesite. We haven't seen them at their house. So I think that'd be really cool because we saw it in the last movie, so we know it's a pretty awesome place. They look out at Konoha, so it's pretty awesome. So I really would like to see that. Maybe, Himawari is worried about, Dad, and she's like, where is he? He's on a mission, and please be safe, Dad, and then it goes back to them. So just something like that, or even Bolt comes home. That would be something that would be interesting. So I really hope something like that happens, and I cannot wait to see more Naruto. I hope you guys enjoyed my discussion, and as always, have an awesome day.